All right, guys, we are going to go over some different math strategies, and I'm going to show you some different things using my whiteboard, okay? And so I'm just going to go through like a series of things. We're going to do some addition, we're going to do some subtraction, we're going to do some basic multiplication, we're going to do some double-digit multiplication, just to kind of remind you guys some important things to look at and strategies to always do, okay? So let's start kind of easy, okay? So, a lot of you guys know that when you're adding, okay, let's just say we have 8 plus 8, okay? When I'm adding 8 plus 8, I always what? I'll always have to line up my numbers. And we know both of these are in the ones place. So they must line up together, right? Okay? So that is just an important strategy to remember. Also, another thing you can always do is if you don't know 8 plus 8 in your head, that's okay. You can always count up on your fingers, which that can kind of take a little bit. Or you can always draw your circles, right? Okay? And Seda likes to do her circles because it helps you and reminds you how many you have, okay, in case you lose count. Just remember, if you do circles, what I always suggest, make your 8 for that, or whatever your number is, right? And then go back and double check and make sure you really have 8, because that is a big mistake I see a lot of people make. They do their dots, but they might only have 7 here, and then their whole problem's going to be wrong, okay? So always go back and double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, good. I have 8 there. And do the same at the bottom, okay? Once you have done that, you can easily add up all your dots, because we're adding, right? Watch your signs, and you know there's 16. Okay? Now, let's get a little harder. What if I see a problem like this? What do I notice? Okay, one of my problems only has a what? Right, ones place, okay? But this problem has a what? Ones and tens place, okay? I can still do this addition, right? I just need to remember to line them up. So I write my big number first, okay? I always like to write my big number first. You don't have to, but I kind of suggest it that way you don't get confused, okay? Plus our 4. Now, can I put my 4 here? No, right, because if I do, then for one, yeah, the problem's going to be wrong. And 2, does my 4 belong in my tens place? No. I need to put my 4 in the ones place, okay? So please always make sure you do that first. Make sure you put the numbers where they belong, okay? You got to remember place value, all right? So always think when you have, let's get back to that really quick. Let me show you something, okay? Place value, just always remember, okay? You got your hundreds, tens, ones. And as you learn bigger numbers, which most of you have, you remember, like I taught you, the place value just gets bigger, okay? All right? You've got to remember those things. If I have a ones, my number goes here. If I had a 13, my number would go like this, right? Okay? If I had 124, my number would go like this, okay? So we have to remember place value when adding, subtracting, multiplying. Guys, it's important in any math problem you do, okay? So let's go back to our 13 plus 4. Okay, we talked about, remember, it can't go in the tens place because we know the 4 is a 1. Okay, now, another thing I like to do, and I taught my kids last year, and I even teach my own son this, is just draw a line down. Okay, take it one side at a time. Don't get overwhelmed, okay? Because it can be stressful to look at, oh man, that's a big number, right? Yeah. Now, I could say 13 and then count up 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay? Now, or I could also draw my same thing, 3 circles, because right, if I put a line, I'm not worried about this side right now. I am only looking at this side of the problem. And then my 4. Okay? All right. Then I add up all my circles. But before I add them up, what if I told you? Go back and count and make sure there's exactly as many as there's supposed to be. Once you've done that, you can add them up. Okay? Now we are done with this side. Okay, we've completed it. Then we bring our 1 straight. You can always put a 0. If there's not a place value there, if that helps you, you don't have to. And then so we know 1 plus 0 is 1, right? Now, what happens if I have a problem like this? Okay, I'm going to do my strategy. I'm going to do one side at a time, right? Okay, I'm going to draw my circles because I know that can help me. Okay. After I draw my circles, right, you go back and count. Make sure you have 7 for this and 7 for him. Okay. Once you've done that, you again add all your circles up. And yes, go ahead and count them. Very good. You get, yeah, 14. Now, can I write 14 like that? No, right? So I always keep my 1s because this is the 1s place, right? And I take my 10 and take him next door. I like to always draw it up here and then just draw a circle around it. That way you don't forget about it when you're continuing your problem, okay? So now we took our 1 next door. I can draw a dot for him. We got 3 here and 4 here, right? Okay. Now you notice something different. We just have a new friend up here, right? This friend could be 2, 3, 4. As you start adding bigger numbers, the numbers that go next door will get bigger, right? Okay. So once we add all this together, go ahead. Right, we get 8. And I am done with that problem. Okay, now guys, just remember, it doesn't matter how many numbers I have. I could have 245 plus 362. Guys, I can do the same thing. Take one step at a time. Okay, and I always work from the 1s place, then to the 10s, to the 100s, okay? I cannot start in the 100s place. And the reason why is because sometimes, like we just saw in the last problem, I have to take friends next door. So if I start over here, that's going to be a problem, right? Okay? So you always start in the 1s place, take your time, and go, okay, very slowly. Count your dots if that helps you. Count your fingers if that helps you. You can use objects and count objects if that helps you. Whatever helps you, I always encourage, right? Y'all know that. Okay, let's just look at a subtraction problem, okay? Because subtraction is different than addition. Let's start with 13 minus 5, okay? So, this is a minus sign. Think about, take away, okay? Take away. All right, so This one I wouldn't draw 5 circles and then 13 circles and all. No. Okay, this one's different, right? Okay, so usually I tell my kids to draw, right? But on this particular problem, we're not going to do that. Okay, you can, but let me just show you a different way first. Okay, so let's just look at it as 13 minus 5. Okay, I would draw my 13 circles. Okay, and I like to keep my circles kind of lined up and even so I can see them better, and also I don't get confused. Okay, then I go back, make sure I have 13, and because this is a subtraction problem, I'm going to what? Right, take away 5. So then I just go over here. It doesn't matter what 5 you take away. And then you just count what you have left. Okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? 8. Now, I like to show my kids another trick. That if subtraction is kind of hard for you, you can always take the number you get plus your bottom number and add them back up and see if you get 13. And if you did, your subtraction problem is correct. Guys, this works no matter how big the number is. Okay, you can always check subtraction, and that's why I like subtraction. So we can take our 8 dots and our 5 dots and add them back together and get 13. Okay? All right? Just a few strategies, a few things to help you guys out. All right? Okay. That is all I'm going to do for this. So this is just going to be our addition subtraction video. And Miss Sadel's going to make another video as well with multiplication. Okay? So be looking for that as well.